the Brobe. If you've had drains, you totally should be tuning in today, because we all know that that is part of the worst part of having a mastectomy. Well, not the worst, but we definitely can't stand those drains and the tubes that hang out. And luckily, we had Allison to invent this great little robe that puts them in pockets and hides them from us and makes us a little bit more comfortable. And we're going to start out with Allison. You're going to tell us about, give us a little background, Allison, like who were you before the Brobe? Before the Brobe was invented, what were you doing?
Well, that's a really long story. I actually, to give you a little bit of background about me, I'm going to start with when I had the actual idea for the Brobe. So I had the idea for the Brobe it's like 11 years ago. And at the time, I was newly married to my first husband, Rick, and I had just had a baby. And we were living in this tiny little apartment in Fort Worth, Texas. And the plan was that I was going to go back to school and stay home with the baby, and Rick was going to go work actually for my dad's business.
Okay.
And so very shortly after we came to Fort Worth from Colorado, Rick got diagnosed with renal failure, with kidney failure.
Oh, gosh.
And so very quickly the tables turned, and I was working 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, just to kind of make ends meet, and taking him to and from dialysis, 3 times a week. And the idea for the Brobe, of course, it wasn't called the Brobe back then, but every day, or every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, was always really hectic, because I'd have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I would get Rick up, get the baby up. We would have to drive him because we only had 1 car. I'd have to drive him to dialysis, come home, get ready, take a shower, get the baby ready, get her off to school, and then go to my first job. And then on my lunch hour from my first job, I'd go back, pick up Rick, bring him home, put him to bed, go back to my second job, which was my daughter's school, so I could afford for her to go to school there. And then I'd come home, get her ready for dinner, and then I'd go and wait tables at night. And so during this time, that when I was getting ready for the first job, I would get out of the shower every day. I'd get in the shower and I'd get out, and being from Texas, it's really hot.
Right.
Most of the time. And I always felt like I was around and sweating all the time. It's like you get in the shower and then you get out of the shower and you're still sweating. It's just gross. So I would always have to take 5 or 10 minutes and go shuffling through my drawers for my sports bras, because I didn't want to wear my nice pretty bras and while I'm getting ready. And I just had this fleeting thought of, why can't I just get out of the shower and just have an all-in-one easy bra built inside of a robe, because I like to put my makeup on and do my hair and just even lounge. But I always have I have big boobs, and so with big boobs plus hot weather equals boob sweat. And anybody who has big boobs knows what boob sweat is. It's gross. And so it's just kind of a pet peeve of mine. And I had the idea I just had this fleeting thought of, well, why won't somebody just build a bra inside of a robe? And I spent the next 5 years looking for a product like this. And I just, every time I would go to anywhere, any shopping for swimsuit or bras or panties or whatever, I'd always ask the salespeople, do you have a robe? Do you have pajamas? Do you have something other than a tank top that has that shelf bra in that doesn't hold? And they'd always go, no, but you're like the 1,000th person that's asked for something like this.
Right.
So I ended up, still just kind of waiting. And in 2007, my husband passed away, and I was driving down.
Sorry, Allison.
And that's, it was a good 5 years. But I don't know, call it Rick nudging me, or call it God, or call it whoever you want. But I just had this thought of, I'm going to stop at Target, and I'm going to see if this works. Because by that point it had been 7 years since I originally had the idea. And I pulled over to Target and I got, you know, this cheap robe, and I got all these different bras, and I came home and I had a needle and thread because I don't sew. And I took the bra and cut it up the front, and took a needle and thread and sewed the back of the sports bra to the back of the robe, and sewed the shoulders to the shoulders, and I put it on, and I fastened it with the Velcro, and I closed the robe, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, it does it. It lifts,
Right.
it holds me, it does everything it needs to. And so, you know, it still wasn't in my plan to make this a business. And it really, you know, maybe fast forward a year or so later, I started kind of telling people about my bra robe idea, and some girlfriends and I were at a weekend getaway, and I just happened to bring it, and they fell in love with it. And that's kind of how the Brobe, that is where the Brobe name came from, because we were all sitting around drinking wine, and
Yeah.
you know, they were all trying it on, and they're like, this is your Brobe, this is your Brobe. And so we thought it was hilarious, and so it just kind of kept. But so then the idea for the Recovery Brobe didn't come for probably another year later. I'm remarried, and my husband is a paramedic, and he came home one day and said, you know, if you ever do anything with this Brobe idea, you should do something for women with breast cancer. And I think he had a patient that morning, and that had breast cancer, and I didn't know anything about breast cancer, or you know, what happened after you had surgery or anything like that. And so it just happened right around that same time. A friend of mine, a client friend, I was having lunch with her, and I was telling her about the bra and the robe, and she had a double mastectomy and 3 reconstructive surgeries. And she just said, you know, you really should do something for a woman with breast cancer. And so she said, I'm going to bring you what they gave me in the hospital. And a couple days later, she came over to my house, and she brought me this. It really looked like something like my 13-year-old who's in home ec would make. I mean, it was awful. The material was awful. And granted, I mean, I don't know if these are volunteers who are making this or what, but it was not something that I thought, if my mom, if my sister, if my best friend, or if myself had our breasts removed, that I would want to put that on, or I would want to give them, because it wasn't feminine at all. And it just didn't seem like it didn't give them the dignity that I think that they deserved. And so it just lit a fire kind of in me to really do some research. And so I spent about a year really researching. And I mean, I did everything from going to every department store and talking to every person that I could, saying, you know, people kind of looking for garments after, you know, they've had mastectomies, and if they do, what do they like, what do they don't like. And found a seamstress here in Austin, and we worked for about 3 months on about 3 different prototypes, and I got the prototypes, and the rest is kind of history.
Right. Well, I can tell you, because I have the Brobe and I've worn the Brobe, that it is soft, which to me is number one, because you are right about what you said about, first of all, most hospitals don't give you anything. So you leave there with nothing. You don't have a single thing. I had 2 surgeries, so I feel like we were talking a minute ago, I'm sort of the best of both worlds, because I had surgery without the Brobe, and I had surgery with the Brobe, and I had drains without and with. And like I said to you earlier, you don't certainly need it. You can pin those drains up. I did that. I pinned my drains to my shorts underneath, and it is incredibly uncomfortable. They tug, they pull. When you go to the bathroom, you have to unpin them from your shorts, because you clearly can't pull your shorts down with the drains there, because you pull the drains right out. They catch on, you know, the corners of things. They are annoying, and they also do a weird thing to your psyche, those drains. I don't know what it is. Many women will tell you that those drains make you cry. I don't know what it is about them, but they make you cry. So my thought is, anything to make those drains a little less invasive, a little less annoying, is a win. So that is part of the reason why I'm such a big advocate for the Brobe. The other thing is, I wore it because it's so cute with a pair of leggings to my doctor's visit, because it's cute and it's soft and it hid the drains. The drains were in the pocket. And at my doctor's appointment, I didn't have to put a gown on because it opens in the front. So I was ready to go. It was right there. It is very comfortable. It doesn't, your material's great. Which is huge.
I really appreciate you saying that, but it's like you have in your mind what you want, and I mean, obviously, I didn't know anything about fabric or material, and so we had to just do a whole lot of testing. And luckily, I had a fantastic seamstress who kind of taught me the ins and outs of what this fabric will do and how this will drape and how this will wash. And I mean, she was just fantastic. And everything that the Brobe has, there is a reasoning behind it. People ask me all the time, well, what about the weight, or the color, or why is there 2 buttons plus a drawstring? And so everything that's in it and the reasoning behind how it looks and how it feels, there's been thought to it.
So what are the reasons? Tell me what the reasons are.
So I'm going to show. Can you see it? Okay?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So the first reason, I know you can't tell on here, I mean, you obviously know what the robe feels like, but it's a nylon spandex fabric.
Yeah.
So what that means, it's pretty cool to the touch, and it's really durable. So it hangs well. It's a really expensive fabric, but I didn't want to chinch on the fabric, because you're going to be wearing it before, during, and after recovery. And so I just wanted something that was really luxurious, and everything that I found that was out there, it just wasn't that way. So the fabric, it's a 260 gram, which is a heavier weight fabric, but it's not going to make you hot. So it has the 3/4 inch sleeves. We did the 3/4 inch sleeves because, like you said, you could throw leggings on underneath it and either go to chemo, or, and that was the whole point with the 3/4 inch sleeves. I also didn't want anything that was too just heavy and bulky. A lot of people think of robes as really.
But for me, when I got it, I was like, this is never going to fit me, because I'm 4'11". Yeah. I was like, this is not going to fit me. When I put it on, I was like, oh my God, it fits me. It fits me. And the funny thing is that I've given that robe, I call it the Sisterhood of the Traveling Robe, and it's gone to a bunch of my friends. We joke, it fits everybody because of the 3/4 length.
It's funny that you say that. It's the sister. Yeah, it does, because it's not too long, it's not too short. And some people, it comes below their knee or just above the knee. So but it has a couple of different ways of fastening. It has the drawstring right here. I don't know if you can see it very well, but I added the drawstring because all the people that I interviewed, they would talk about how, anything that they purchased after the recovery was done, they just wanted to burn it because they didn't want to remember, they just didn't want anything around. But I wanted people, if they were going, to spend, $90 or $100 on a garment, I want you to be able to wear it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I added the drawstring. So there's buttons right here to keep it closed, but then there's nothing pulling on the drains while the drains are in. But then after the drains come out, I added the drawstring, so it makes you feel a little bit, more cinched at the waist and not so much so that was that reasoning. Inside of the robe, can you see these?
Yep.
Okay. So inside the robe is the pockets. We actually, since you got yours, Anne-Marie, we've added 2 more pockets.
Yep.
Inside the robe to hold a total of 4 drains, but a lot of times you can put, depending on the drains, you can use the pocket. You can put 2 drains in per pocket.
Right.
So this is what the drain looks like. It broke. This part broke, but drains go in the pocket, and then the bra that connects back here, you can actually detach it with a snap. We added the snap. It has a really sturdy Velcro. Again, I interviewed so many women that, what did they want? Zipper, button, Velcro, hook and eye, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're really sore after surgery.
Velcro's the best.
Velcro was overall, what most women wanted. And so it has the Velcro, and then inside has pockets to hold a prosthetic or ice pack. So that was, also the bra by itself, it's really, really comfortable.
Right. And the other thing is, I was speaking to someone the other day, and she tried it on, and she said the bra was really snug. Should it be this snug? And I said, actually, it should be kind of tight, because you want, after surgery, to feel that comfort of everything to be kind of tight is not the right word, but compressed.
Compressed.
Usually what they put you in after surgery is a compression bra. Some surgeons, not all. So you do want that feeling of security with that, and that it is very comfortable. The material is what sells you on that. It's not that hard compression like material.
Right. So it also has pockets on the outside. I just wanted, I wanted it to look and feel as normal and luxurious as possible. I mean, I have so many people who aren't even going in for surgery who wear this on a daily basis, just because, like for me, I have 2 kids, and I don't even leave my room without putting on a bra. So so many women who even have teenage boys who have their friends over, and it's like, I just want to be able to get up and put something on and not get dressed before I leave my room. So so the Recovery Brobe has been it's done pretty well.
Yeah. So what about the colors? Tell me about the colors, red and blue.
Well, so we actually don't have the red anymore. That's discontinued.
Okay.
But we chose the navy because, so at first we chose the red and the navy. I wanted something that was fun, that was bright and vibrant. Everything that I found whenever I would walk into a, mastectomy shop, or it just seemed boring. It seemed, nudes and whites, and so I didn't want it light colored, because if the drains leaked fluid, then I wanted you not to be able to see this. The other thing that I thought was really interesting was in doing all the market research, I would ask women what colors they wanted, and they definitely did not want black, and they definitely did not want pink.
No.
Although
I love pink dearly.
I mean, I love pink too, but I guess they just really just were not.
No, that would have been like way too much pink. You know what I mean? Like that is just wow. Yeah.
So what we're about to do is I'm about to put in another order, and I'm actually doing a magenta color.
Oh, nice.
So it's going to be it's a really rich, I really like colors. I want, when people to receive this, they go, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And it's not like anything that they've ever seen before. And so I want them, I'm assuming they're going through a really hard time. And so I want something bright and vibrant and, makes them feel good about them. And so navy was it was a very safe color.
I think it's a great color. And you're right. It is a color that kind of everyone's happy with. It's not.
It is. I'm hoping that the magenta, again, did a lot of market research with this color on, were we going to do, like a rich emerald green, or, what are we going to do? And so I'm hoping that, in the near future, we'll have lots of different colors. But right now we're about to do another order for magenta. So I'm excited about that.
Well, we are very excited to have you on CureDiva, and we are so happy to keep the Brobe there. And I know that I get sad when I see the stock deplete, and I know that happens because you are. I know. You just keep us posted on all of that, and I thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy Brobe schedule. And I hope that this helps women to understand the reason behind why all of the features on that robe is so important.
Yeah, so, I hope so too. Thank you so much.
I thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right.